All right, guys. Rounding out this episode, this beautiful, beautiful episode of the Kind of Funny Gamescast, is our gaming backlogs.
Yeah.
Where are we at right now? There's a lot of games coming out. We're in the beginning of the year, which means we got a lot to look forward to in 2015.
Sure.
Earlier, we were talking about Game of Thrones episode 2. I'm excited for that in the coming weeks.
Yeah.
But, obviously, as people that have full-time jobs, even though we didn't expect things to be so full-time.
Yeah.
We haven't had that much time to play video games.
Right.
Besides the streaming and the Let's Plays and all that. But we haven't had time to sit and just play through games and experience them the way we want to.
Right.
And a lot of the times, that's the thing. There's a big difference between performing a game and playing a game.
Sure.
A lot of people are like, you're so bad at Smash Bros. It's like, hey, first off, I'm not claiming to be good at Smash Bros. But second off,
you put that on me.
It's harder to play games while talking to a camera, while talking to people, and like trying to create something that's entertaining. Creating entertainment and playing a game are two different things.
Sure.
And there is, some common denominators between them. But besides that, sometimes I just want to play a game, specifically single player games. I just want to sit there and I just want to play it. I want to make my mistakes, and I don't want
to hear how much you
people
suck.
judging me in the comments or telling me what to do and all that stuff. And half of them are wrong and all this shit. But sometimes I do want that. And so I go for that. So I haven't had the time to sit and play a bunch of games that I wanted to play. What are you guys?
I mean,
trying to make time for
the best part about launching this business when we did, January 5th, is that we did it when there was honestly a quiet breath in gaming, right? Where it was like, all right, we can do this right now, and it's not going to it's not like we're doing it during review season, and we're doing it during the run-up to Black Friday, where we're going to miss a million things and not have time for it. I hope we were on better track so that we're going to be ready for, H1Z1 I still want to play, and I know it's a complete pile of garbage and everything, but I want to be a part of that, right? And it sucks that I haven't been able to be. So there's that. Then I'm looking forward now. I'm not even getting to your question. Oh, I guess H1Z1's in my pile. But we're still to the point of the next things to worry about are for me, Dying Light, Game of Thrones, Order. We're starting to hit into these games that got pushed. Bloodborne isn't too far off either, then when you look at it that way. But this January timeframe has been quiet enough to where it's I'm not missing out. I don't feel like I'm screwing myself over. And so when I look back at my backlog is still in a place of just little things. There's not that much that I feel like I need to catch up on. I keep talking about this, right? That I played so much Transistor at preview events that when I finally got it, it wasn't striking the right chord. So I got 3 hours in or something and stopped. And now I got to restart that game and go. And I keep talking about doing that, right? But Dragon Age isn't a game that speaks to me. And I played an hour of it, maybe even less. And I was just totally get what's up. Watch Christine play a lot. Totally respect what they're doing. Not my game. I don't want to go back to it. Far Cry. Played a ton of it leading in, we did so many Let's Plays at IGN with it that by the time I got home and I started going into it, I was just it's Far Cry 3, which was amazing. And I know all the new stuff it has, which is amazing, but I don't want to go play that. You know what I mean? I still need to beat Costume Quest. So far it's Transistor and Costume Quest. Mm-hmm. Costume Quest, I played on a stream in December because that was when I could finally get to it. And I still have a lot left in that little campaign too. But that's another game that doesn't stream well. Mm-hmm. It's a game that I wanted to sit there and laugh at the jokes and the no dialogue and enjoy myself. But it's not, my backlog doesn't feel as crazy as I think it sometimes gets. It starts getting crazy when I look up there and I'm like, shit, right, I do want to do for a Throwback Thursday Death and Return of Superman. I do want to play Ghostbusters on NES. I see all these cartridges that are games I played and beat when I was a kid, but are up there that I want to do for our content. Mm-hmm. And balancing that with the Walking Dead stream, with our daily Let's Plays, with The Order, with Bloodborne, with Uncharted, all the games that are actually going to come out, the fucking Batman DLC that I still want to do, the Mr. Freeze stuff, you know what I mean? There's all these little things out there that are not even backlog, it's just mini annoyances that I want to try to get quelled before we get to the heart of the season. And the season being this year.
Yes.
I don't even know where to begin. That's the problem has gotten bad. It's gotten really bad because even before we left IGN, there's just no time. There's just no time to play anything. I think Transistor is a good example. I never played Alien Isolation. I never played Shadow of Mordor. I never played Dragon Age. I never got to screw around with Costume Quest. I never got to, even Citizens of Earth was a game that I really, is a game that I really want to sit down with and play now. Ironclad Tactics is out now. I want to be Resident Evil again. Eventually you just have to choose 10% of this stuff and just be especially with Shadow of Mordor and Dragon Age, I actually really wanted to play. I like Western RPGs and I really wanted to play those games, but it's just not going to happen. Plus there's all this shit on Vita that comes out every fucking week that I really want to play. I just download them and just never play them ever.
Suikoden. I was so, where Suikoden 2? Where Suikoden 2? I got Suikoden 2. I played 45 minutes of it, and then something happened, and I totally never got back to it. And now I'm to the point of, do I restart that game? Like, what is even happening? I know I'm cleaning tar off the ground. Why? What's happening?
See, that's a worry I have about Majora's Mask coming up.
Yep.
Where it's like, I know I'm going to want to play it. I'm super excited for it, but like I'm worried that I'm just not going to.
That's my
And then
same...
if I do, I'm going to play it for a little bit and then just be lost and not know where I am. And then
that's my thing with Grim Fandango coming out. Is like, I never played Grim Fandango, and I know how special a game it is and how important it is to adventure games. And so, like, yeah, I'm going to start it and play it. And, like, I remember when I didn't like adventure games because they were cumbersome and weird. And how does this water bottle interact with that light to, you know, turn on this to make them? And I was like, oh, and, like, that's what's going to happen. Is I'm going to sit down with Grim and play 15, 20 minutes of it and get to that puzzle and be like, all right, I got to stream something else. I'll do, and never get back to it. Destiny. I want to be level 30 in Destiny, which is not hard. And I'm, like, level 25 because I get to do an hour of it and then I'm totally pulled away from it forever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge problem, especially as we get older, and I can't even fucking fathom how people with real responsibilities, and it's not
with a child, having a kid to take care of and play games.
I'm not saying we don't have responsibilities, because we do. We have a business and it's busy work, and it's hard. It's hard in Portillo, obviously.
I know, but
but it's insane. Like, it sucks because I really feel a little bit of emptiness the last year or so in my own life because I don't have time to sit and play, and it's really. You have to pick and choose, man. But like the more you put off the games, the further detached you become from the games and what they mean at the time. Which is why I've been saying for a long time, I need to make time. There's just like, it's got to come at the sake of something, of relationships or just free time or reading or whatever. Like, it's got to come because, like you were saying, like playing on a stream, like I was playing Resident Evil today. You know, we were just screwing around, having a good time, and not really even caring about how we were doing. That's not how I really want to play Resident Evil. I want to turn the lights off and really get into it. That game's scary and atmospheric, and so I want to play it in that respect. It's funny when I look at my trophies. People say, like, what good are trophies if you don't care about them? At the very least, it chronicles what you've done, which is pretty cool. And when I look at my trophies going all the way back to when they launched in 2008, man, I played a shit ton of games until this past year. I played like everything, and it wasn't just like dabbling. It was like I was beating the shit out of these games.
But that was during the time when like Cheryl was away, right?
Yeah, and
that's a big part of it, right? Like that's what. And this isn't us lamenting having loved ones, but it's, like we work all day doing this, right? And now like when we're gonna leave, and I immediately have to edit this to get this up for Patreon, and then I immediately have to work on Oreo-ration, and then in there I have to cook dinner for Christine, and then I want to hang out with Christine, and then it's just like, so what point am I legitimately gonna stream H1Z1 tonight? I'm not, unless I want to stay up till 2 a.m. and then be shit tomorrow for all the streams and crap we have to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like that's like the sucky part of being an adult and doing all these things and not even owning this business, because when we had jobs before it was the same exact thing. Yeah. It's just like trying to get in a rhythm, and I really feel like we're maybe next week gonna hit our rhythm.
We're close.
Yeah,
No,
it's not bad. It's just these stupid trips that I keep taking and doing things with.
Hey, things are happening. That's part of the rhythm. So for me, I'm looking forward to there's not too many games coming out soon that I'm like, I need to play this. Game of Thrones, I'm going to play, and this Ori and the Blind Forest, which you should check out youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. There's a Reacts piece we did on that. We got to play a little bit of it, and I was super into it, and I'm excited for that, and I'm going to make time to play that for sure. Now, looking back at my backlog,
Sunset Overdrive, that is a big thing. That is a big missing part of my backlog. Sorry, that a game that I haven't even turned on.
That's a game that I know very little about, but just watching it, I'm like, this looks fun. This looks like something I would enjoy a lot. Again, I don't have I do have an Xbox One, but it's in a box. I'm trying, it's a long story. I didn't mean to buy it. I did buy it. I have it. I'm trying to sell it. It's a whole deal. But I think at this point, I might just open it and just keep it, because I'm like, I want to play these games. And I don't have to borrow yours to play Ori or play it here. Yeah, it's rigmarole.
God forbid you fucking make some content here.
I know it's hard. But so that's the thing, though, is I have this problem where I'm addicted to old games. I've told you guys before, I essentially skipped out on the whole PS3, Xbox 360 generation. Like, I played a handful of games. I would probably say I beat a good 15 games, solid, straight through and all that. And that means I missed out on a lot. And again, I feel like I've played more games than just the normal person.
Yeah.
I've played a percentage of the games that you guys have played as professional, the coolest dudes in video games, right? But I missed out on so much stuff, specifically the Batman games. We've talked about this. I need to play the Arkham games and actually sit through them. Are great, man. Because Knight looks great. Yeah. And I want to be a part of that conversation when we get there. The Bioshock games. I need to play.
Oh wow. Really?
Yeah.
Man.
See, and that's one that I'm like, wow. But I have this problem where I love old games so much that I'm just constantly wanting to go back and just play them because I love those experiences. And like, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna play Bioshock. I own all those games I just named. I own all of them, and I've started them. And I'm like,
Bioshock.
Then I start them again. I'm like, But then I look
So
over and I'm
good.
like, oh, there's Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Oh, I wonder if it's still as good as I remember. And I play it, and then I get stuck playing that. I'm like, oh, I'll just play through a couple levels or whatever. And then I'm like, all right, cool. Now it's dinner time, you know?
Yeah.
And that keeps happening to me. And especially now that we're doing these Throwback Thursdays and stuff, I'm going to get addicted, guys. This is going to be bad. And now that there's HD remixes and all this stuff, I'm like, well, shit. Now I have to play these because
Now I have to
because
play
they're old
these.
and new. And a big
They're
example
old
of
and
that
new.
is Kingdom Hearts, where it's like last time I played, like I love Kingdom Hearts. The last time I played it, where Kingdom Hearts 2 was 2005, 2006 when it first came out, you know?
Yeah.
And now that there's the HD collections, I'm like, well, I want to replay these, but that's an investment. And that's a problem with these RPGs, Japanese or Western.
It's a huge problem.
It's like, how are we supposed to play all of them when they're all 100 hours, you know?
Yep, that's 100% true.
And it's like, especially when I want to play these old games. I want to play Kingdom Hearts 1. I want to play Kingdom Hearts 2. Backlog games are games I never played. Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. It came out on PSP. I was so excited for it, but it came out so late in the console's run that I was like moving on to the next thing and doing other stuff, and I never played it. Now it's on PS3, so I get to do that. But I'm like, well, if I do that, I want to play 1 and 2 first. I want to, like build that back up. And I'm like, oh, I also want to play Final Fantasy 10 and 10 too because those came out.
Oh, Jesus.
And I'm just like, I just get into this thing where it's like
it gets so daunting.
so daunting that I'm like, oh, I'm just not going to do it. I'm just going to play Tiny Toon Adventures.
Right.
But
When the email was specific, a lot out of control for Kind of Funny, yeah, it would be like, there's too many emails to answer. I'm just gonna read a book, or I'm gonna read a comic, or I'm gonna check Twitter. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like you gotta try to find a way. You can't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, out of the games you mentioned, I mean, I don't like Bioshock Infinite. I think it's vastly overrated. I never beat it. I was not into it. I thought it was strange. It was very un-Bioshock to me. I don't know. A lot of people agree with that. Some people don't agree with it, but it felt like a shooter, and Bioshock is not a shooter. First and foremost, in my opinion, it's first person and you shoot things, but it's not like
that's not what
it's
it's
like.
like.
It wasn't like Call of Duty, which is what I felt like parts of Infinite were. But the original Bioshock.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, that's the game that stuck out to me. Like, you have to play that game. That game's fucking extraordinary. That game is extraordinary. A very, very, very important game. So you should definitely play that.
I'm down. I mean,
definitely
I want to.
make time to play that game.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
I played the first hour of that game. I swear, probably 5 or 6 times. And like, I'm into it. I'm so into it. It's just like, then I move on to the next thing. And again, then it gets hard because not only do I also want to play all these other games and they're huge investments, and it's just like, then we have to make the content and do the entertainment thing. And I love that. And I actually, it's a fact. I love that more than I love actually playing the games. And I love playing games. But there's something about like making content from games that is so much more exciting to me. So that's why I know these old games so well. So I stop and think about like, what's the best content I can make for these games that I know that I love, instead of playing something new that I'm like, oh, I need to experience this and then kind of think about it that way. Mm-hmm. And it's just, that's been really interesting working with you guys, because I see you guys kind of as the opposite, specifically you, Greg. Colin, you have a little bit more of the old school in you, but see, you're more of a historian when it comes to this stuff. Greg, you're more of the like, I'm playing whatever's out, I'm current, I'm up to date on this stuff, and I do a little bit of everything really well.
Yeah.
I'm way more just like, I like to make content and I like to think about this, and I like old things. So my backlog is never, ever
you'll never
gonna catch up.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I'm okay.
I guess so.
It's not a terrible problem to have. It's just a problem of acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
I had that thing with when Black Flag came out.
Yeah.
And I don't even like Assassin's Creed even at all. But I gave Assassin's Creed 2 I gave Assassin's Creed 2 a chance a little bit. People yelled at me for not giving enough chance, and then I platinumed it to prove that I played the game all the way through. And I was like, I still hate this game.
Oh, Colin.
I still hate it, but there's my platinum trophy. And then I played Assassin's Creed 3 because I was like, oh, this is fucking awesome. Look at the setting, and the setting they nailed everything. The travesty of Assassin's Creed, of course, is they nail everything but the gameplay. And then when Black Flag came out, I was like, well, I'm going to give it another chance. People really seem to like it. It seems like maybe they fixed some things. I'm not really sure that's really true. And that was the first time where I was like, I can't play this game. I don't have time. Mm-hmm. And that was when I was like, I wrote it off completely. Like, I'm never playing Assassin's Creed ever again. That was like one thing I just checked off my box. I'm like, I don't even, so when the new one came out this year, Unity or whatever, like, I don't give a shit. I'm like, I'm not like, that's not even on my radar anymore. I don't care.
Yeah, that was the thing too. Of like, I was so satisfied with Black Flag that when Unity popped up and then Rogue, and they were like, well, Unity's this and then, but I mean, they would go back and forth on everything. I was just like, they're not even on my list of things to do. You know what I mean? Like I've seen you play it. I understand that it's this. I understand that it's that. I watched their video reviews. I read on it to make sure I was up to date on them. But then it was just like, yeah, that's not even something on my list. I don't feel like I need to play that anymore to experience what it is.
So Assassin's Creed perfectly encapsulates every single thing that I just said about my problem with Backlogs. When 1 came out and like people were kind of whatever about it, then 2 came out and everyone's like, this is amazing. This is so good. And everything about Assassin's Creed seems cool to me, the story and all that. But Prince of Persia, the trilogy on PS2, Jack.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. That is like one of my favorite gaming
Sands of Time is awesome.
Ever. Yeah. I think all 3 are awesome. Sands of Time is the best, and it's, it made it. But like Warrior Within, I was a little on the angsty side, but still great game. Yeah. The time travel was fun. And then Twin Thrones, whatever. I don't remember what it was. I loved that. And it was like super good and brought it back more to the first one. That franchise was so special to me that the idea of playing Assassin's Creed 2, I was like, I just want to replay Prince of Persia because I loved that.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, you know what? I'm just not going to do it. And then they released the HD collection of Princes, so I did that instead.
Yeah.
And then I just never got to Assassins. And I've played the first hour of Assassin's Creed 2 multiple times, but
that's enough.
Yeah.
You've seen enough. That's one of those games where I know people get mad at me, and it is what it is. It's, we all have our own opinions, but I played that game as thoroughly as it could be played. The Platinum Trophy proves it. And I finished that game and I'm like, what is everyone talking about? I'm like, what is everyone talking about?
I had a great time with it, but I understand.
It's like
your distaste. Every time you talk about the gameplay or whatever, I get
like, oh my god. I'm like,
which is why I don't think you wouldn't like Mordor.
We'll see. I mean, I like Lord of the Rings, so I just want to see. I'm a little tired of Lord of the Rings now. It's like it's too cool for school with everyone.
Yeah, but Colin, Assassin's Creed 3. I don't think there's anything you like more.
I thought for sure I was gonna. I mean, I was enamored with that game before it came out. I was like, this is this is cool.
Yeah.
This is cool. I get down with this, and I wish that the gameplay was as good as the setting. I never finished them. I can't play this game anymore. Like halfway through, I can't do it. I can't play it. It's just too. Why am I wasting my time with it? I can't do it. So. But that was just an example with Black Flag of the acceptance where I was like, I got to accept that I have to immediately write shit off without playing it. Like I can be excited about it, and maybe I have to be that way about a game like Alien Isolation or something. It's just like The Evil Within is another great example. Like I was really authentically excited about that game. Mikami, throwback Resident Evil, real survival horror like we got out of Dead Space, which was I think still the last great survival horror game. And then I don't know, and it came out, and I'm like, I don't have time. Like. It sucks. I wish I could just for a month not do anything but catch up on these games, and that'd be fine. But then I probably wouldn't have a job or money and a relationship and
life
and no sausages.
Probably wouldn't make time for that.
Well, guys, what are your gaming backlogs? Let us know in the comments or on Twitter or wherever you're watching this video. iTunes review.
I was gonna say you're on a bus listening to it. You're like, ah!
Tell the person next to you; they'll definitely enjoy it and make time for their games too. This has been episode 4 of the Kind of Funny Gamescast. Let us know what your topics are for following episodes. Hit us up on Twitter at Kind of Funny Vids, at Tim Gettys, at No Taxation, and at Game Over Greggy on the Twitters.
Thank you.
Yes. And until next week.